Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 5 of the Krill Ultimate build series, and probably the last part of the build series as well, because the model is finally back from paint and I can't wait to show it to you. Let's get on with it. And here she is outside, looking absolutely gorgeous, all together for the first time. I mean, I am super pleased with this. You can probably tell from how bubbly I am right now, but my mate Steve has done an absolute cracking job of spraying this model. It's all hand sprayed, there's not a single sticker on it at the moment, and I think it looks absolutely great. Guys, let me know what you think your first impressions are in the comments below. So now we've got the small task of putting all of this lot, which I'll show you in a minute, back inside the model. And there's just a few little jobs that I didn't do first time round, which I now need to do, such as installing the smoke pump and also fitting the fuel up valve and the smoke valve, so we can actually put stuff into the tanks. I think there's a couple of other small jobs as well, but hopefully not too much. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put all this gear back in and hopefully get it to a point where we can start the engine. That's the goal. Let's go. So here's a quick reminder of just some of the gear that's going to go in there. We've got to finish off, another job we've got to do. We've got to finish off this tray, which is going to mount the power box unit on, and also the batteries and the receivers. We've got our cans to go in, we've got the pipes to sort out. They've got to have valves on them, sorry, not valves, nipples on them so the smoke can go into the pipes. Fuel tanks have got to be made up and mounted to the tray. Tray's got to be installed. I'm not sure what's in there. All those bits got to go in. A whole bunch of servos to go back in. These are the ones for the throttle and for the choke. That's got to be finished off. Engine blocks got to be finished off and fuel proofed. Smoke pump's got to be fitted. And of course engine's got to be mounted, and a whole bunch of stuff in here also needs to go inside. Wings over here as well, they also need servos in, so lots to do, but let's try and get through it super quick. I've literally just been sitting here for about 5 minutes thinking, where do I start? Where do I start with all this? I don't know, I've got everything out. I want to start with the easy bits really. I'm going to just put a servo in, make myself feel better. I'm going to reinstall the rudder servo and the closed loop, and that's one thing off the bench. Then perhaps after that we'll go on to the engine and then the rest of the radio gear and just get the fuselage finished first, and then we can do the wings after that. That's the plan. There we go, servo back in, closed loop's gone back on tight, which is nice. All connected at the rear end, nice and easy job to start with. Right, so I could put the tray in next, start working on the tanks, but I think it would make more sense to take the cannon off and actually get the engine in. Let's do that. There we go. Just love that little touch. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. No, you can't. Let me move around. There you go, that's pretty better. Nice little cheeky touch there. Our name across. Love that. Right, let's get the engine on. What I've actually done first is gone ahead and put the ignition system in, which you can see down there. So that's velcroed to the top of the fuselage with the velcro strap through it, and the strap goes right way through, which you can just about see under there. Now I've just run the ignition wires out. That needs to be done, and the reason why I've done that is because I've got a tray that goes in here which is part of the engine mount. If I just remind you, this is the tray. It's got the two servos on there, one for the throttle and one for the choke, and then the back plate is actually what bolts the back of the engine to. So I thought I'd better put the ignition there before putting this through. So that sits the other side of the firewall, and then the engine goes through the front on the block. But let me get this in and I'll show you what it looks like. So engine is in. So first of all, I've coated the plywood here, plywood stands if you like, in epoxy, so no fuel should soak in there. Should it spill, should be okay. And I've bolted the engine on, and that is all Loctite in place. I've also attached the ignition, which I'll show you from the other side in a moment, but that's the strap for the ignition, and obviously the wires are coming through here and through the middle here as well, and obviously for the spark on the other side. Tied these down with some nice little clips, so that shouldn't go anywhere. So that's looking loads better. I mean, it's the first time that engine's been in properly, since we put the model together originally. So then that's led to putting the fuel dots on. So fuel and smoke in the middle here. I've gone for the middle because both the fuel tanks are underneath, so fuel tank and smoke tank are underneath here. I thought it should be better to have them come straight up in the middle rather than down one side and dragging one of the fuel tubing across. So that's why I've gone for the middle, and I think that's going to look okay once it's all together. So going through here, this is where it's getting a bit more complicated now. I've obviously had to start running wires. So the servos, which I'll show you them all upside down, are in there. You can just about see them down there if I zoom in. There you go. No, that's ignition at the top, and then the servos upside down there. One for the choke and one for the throttle. So I've got cables galore at the moment, obviously for the ignition system. Coming back down, got fuel tubing in there, coming off those dots, and everything's just running loose at the moment. This is all going to be tidy. I'm going to run a tube down the middle and run all the cables through the tube effectively, and then into the board, which will go here. That's the plan so far. Let me show you what I've been making up on the bench. The bench is an absolute mess right now. There's bits of Ultimate everywhere, as you can see, but hey, we will get there. I've been playing around with this. So this is the tray for the tank, fuel tank and smoke tank, and I've also decided to fit the smoke pump to it. So I've just roughly wired this up at the moment because these tanks got to come off, because you can't put the tray in the model with the tanks on. You can't put the tray in and then the tanks on, which is kind of irritating. But they'll be velcroed, strapped. Got Velcro underneath as well, and put another piece of Velcro on the back so those tanks aren't going to go anywhere. A little bit of play at the moment because I haven't tightened it all up. I haven't got the second Velcro on there. And then the pump is also screwed into the front here. So basically, where are we? This one here will connect to the in for the smoke, and that will go out and end up on this piece onto both the manifolds. And obviously this one on this side will go to the carburetor when I run it. Then you got the vents here, and then the fuel dots will go here and here. Makes sense in my head. Kind of annoying, I'll take that all off to put it back in there, and I guess it's going to be really tight. Let me show you. It actually sits up on this tray here, so I can't put it in one piece because you can't slide it in. You've got to put it in an angle and pop it down to get it in there. But we'll do that, and then we'll attach it, and then I'll start putting the trays on top. I think I'm almost ready to do that, I think. And then we can tie up the wires and then attach the manifolds. But before we attach the manifolds, I've got to drill holes in them for the smoke. So still quite a bit to do, but we are making progress. So I thought I'll just stop there and show you. Let me show you those servos very quickly. I think you can see them a little bit dark down this end of the workshop. There you go, just up underneath there on that tray, and that tray forms part of this support here as well, so it basically bolts all the way through the tray, so that isn't going anywhere. And this is rock solid as well, there's no vibration on there, it's not going to bounce around. Obviously that will come through here and here for the choke and the throttle. Right, let me see if I can get this tray in and the tanks and then show you. So tanks are now in, and that was super fiddly to do. To be honest with you, that took me absolutely ages. Both tanks are in there, the pipe's there, and they are tight. You also see that the silencers are in as well. So let me show you the front. Manifolds are now on. Sorry, a bit dark down here, but yeah, manifolds are on, all done up tight, and I've done more of the wiring as well. As you can just about see, the main wiring coming from the front, which is I think 5 wires, comes down inside that black sleeve there. And these new ones on the right and on the left are actually going to be for the wings. You just see coming through here on both sides. Now I haven't tidied those wires up yet because I've run out of these little clips I've been using, which are the double-sided clips with a cable tie through them. So I'll get more of those to run these wires down each side. And if you go further back where the tray's going to go, you can see I've actually run all the wires now, which is, it looks like a complete mess, but I kind of know what each one of them is. So we spin back round. See, I've also run a sleeve all the way down the middle here, all the way down to the back for the elevators, which again needs to be kind of tacked down with those same cable tie system that I used last time. So we are definitely winning. Feels like we're on the homeward straight. Next up is the tray. So let me show you the tray. And there you go, there's the tray. So we've got the power box and the power box screen, dual receivers, that's just plugged in at the moment, and the 2 batteries here as well. Batteries are secure with Velcro straps and also Velcro underneath, they're not going anywhere. And then I just need to run this switch wire. So I've cut out for the switch because I completely forgot to do that during the build, but that's in there now. And I just need to mount this switch wire sort of kind of nice and tidy down the side of the fuselage, and also tidy up these screws that I've just gone through here. But I quite like that. I think that looks pretty tidy. It'll be better once I've finished tying up the remainder of these cables. But we're getting there. So I think next up, what is next? This is the finished wiring. So you see I didn't end up adding 2 more holes through the board here. Just tied up this cable for the switch. The extra fasteners are now on the front for the wing wires, and also I've put some fasteners down the back as well to keep that sleeve in place, which runs the elevator wires. So we are pretty much done with all things wiring. So quick update on the wings. So all I need to do to the wings is reinstall the servos, which I've gone ahead and done, secured them down, Loctite, all good to go, reconnected the rods. This was all done during the build process, so it's just a case of slotting it back in, so to say. Let's flip this over. Then on the other side of the wings, just a case of making sure the upright supports are good to go. So they've got leads inside them because the extension lead runs through the bottom wing. You see there's a dual lead here onto the servo, and then also one comes out here for the top wing. So there's no separate lead going from the middle to the top wing, it all comes from the bottom wing, which is quite a nice design. So because of that, these have leads in them, which has fallen inside. So I need to hook that lead out and get that working, make sure it's okay, and then re-put the felt sheet on the bottom of these as well, so the felt touches here. So I've brought some adhesive felt. Here it's in black. It's got backing on it, just in case of peeling that off and then cutting in shape, putting it on. You see here's one that I've just been looking at, which I've already done. Needs a little bit more tidying up. Also put a dot on there to colour code it so I know which goes on which ring. That's it. So I'll get that done now, and that'll be the wings done. Well, the bottom wings anyway. And here is the top wing, with both the servos in place as well. So that is both the wings now done, both sets of wings rather. You kind of forget how long this wing is until you get it out. It's absolutely huge, taking up most of the bench here. Right, we are running out of jobs to do, which is a good thing. Let's see what's next. So I just thought I'd show you this before we go on to the last couple of jobs. Don't think you've seen the underneath yet. There we go, got 300 in the same font, fading across the purple to black. And here's the front as well, some models upside down. Now I don't like these, I'd rather these were in black to be honest with you, these deflectors. I've had to put them on because the exhausts themselves are really short, the pipe's really short, so they need to be extended out. But they're green, same ones I get hold of, so I'll probably end up changing those at a later date. So on with the last 2 jobs. So I need to install the undercarriage and get that complete, and I need to also drill out the prop and get the spinner on, and then we are pretty much there. So let's take a look at that undercarriage. Okay, so here's the undercarriage with the wheel on already, the spats and the wheel attached. Now all this section here gets covered up with the fairing, which is why it's not fully sprayed, but what I have just realised, this section doesn't get covered up and it's the wrong colour. So I need to blow this in, I'll take this back off, I'll blow this section in black and then bolt it to it and then attach the fairing. So let's get these done in black. And there we go, that's that corrected. Touched him in black and coated in lacquer as well. You notice I haven't gone all the way up the undercarriage leg, and that's because the next step is to put these fairings on. So they slide over with some silicone glue. Let's get it done now. And there you go guys, that is the covers on the undercarriage. Looking pretty good. I think the next thing we need to do, model's on its wheels for the first time, is actually get the model outside and see if we can get the engine started.
Start And then the tails, do you reckon, are holding it on the wing?
I think it's holding the wing because don't squeeze the wings because they're all hollow. We'll get it primed up first.
Yeah, why don't I just going to overhold?
It's just like that. Yeah.
So that's the light, okay, that's ignition on.
Yeah.
And then choke. That should be choke, so the flying mode should be both the same way. So that's choke closed now. Okay, so I'll close the choke, prime it a few times, then turn the ignition on the choke closed so it fires. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then open up choke. Do a practice swing as well.
Hold on a minute. It's not, is it live?
No. I just want to make sure it's safe to fire.
Good.
So now if I turn the ignition on.
Yeah. Now we're live, yeah?
Now it's live, yeah?
Throttle's definitely the right way.
Yeah. Actually, let me turn
reverse.
this off for a minute. Open up the throttle.
Once I've sucked some fuel through.
That's better. Roll down, see a couple of pips up. Ignition's on, okay?
Live, yeah. Okay.
Fire. Do one more?
Yep. Done the choke.
Yeah. Don't choke off, guys. Choke's already closed. So open throttle, you get some fuel in it, yeah? Shut the throttle. is on.
So guys, as you can see, we are now good to go with the Krill Ultimate. We just had to make a few little adjustments to the low end needle, taking it out just over a quarter of a turn because it's a little bit lumpy on tick over. We put 2 tanks through it, and I think it's probably ready to give it a test flight. I've left the cowling off because I want to go and thoroughly check over everything. You may have noticed the manifolds are leaking very slightly, so I need to work out why that is, and also clean it all up. But as soon as I've resolved that, the next video you see on this will be its test flight. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time round.